Hey, what's up, everybody? I am recording this on Friday, November 23rd. I think it'll probably be out in the world come Monday. I just got back from honeymoon earlier this week, and I was supposed to be doing a 3-day plant medicine journey, but that actually my retreat has been rescheduled to next month. But I really am feeling the call, the urge to hop on a podcast here and do a recording. And I have to apologize in advance. You may be finding that my voice and the overall sound quality of this podcast is a bit echoey and a bit tinny. Normally, I record my podcast in my bedroom where there's plenty of sound barrier and sound cushioning. But my husband hasn't been sleeping very well this week, and so he's actually having a snooze right now in our bedroom. So I'm having to record this from my office, and as much as I love my office and my beautiful sacred space, it sounds like I'm in the middle of a tin can. But the message wants to come through, so the message is going to come through. Wow. How is everybody doing? Are all your hands still on deck, or are you just hanging on with a couple of fingers? Because with everything that's stirred up with Mercury retrograde and just these really, really intense times as we're feeling so much ancestral stuff among the increasing Schumann resonance and just everything that's going on in the galactics, it's intense. And I say that literally every single episode, that it's intense, and it continues to get more intense. And this is our new reality, is learning how to stay grounded and centered within ourselves in these intense times, because this is our new normal. So what I'm being called to channel out for you today is to talk about Ascension anxiety. There are many people in my Sacred She group on Facebook, along with myself, who has been experiencing a lot of anxiety lately. Anxiety for no apparent reason. Like, I'm talking waking up and feeling this lump in your throat, and just your heart is like beating fast and just feeling extra anxious. And it's not like there's anything outside of myself that is creating this anxiety. I'm not in a stressful period. I mean, if anything, like during our honeymoon, that was one of the most relaxing times, and yet I still would wake up into anxiety. And this is abnormal for me. I used to struggle with anxiety years ago, but I've much overcome that. And a lot of that was just, that was before my spiritual awakening. And many of the women that have talked to me in my inbox and in the Sacred She Pack on Facebook, which if you're not part of the community, I welcome you to join us. It is a beautiful community of women on their ascension journeys. There's a lot of people that are just experiencing extra anxiety and unexplainable anxiety. And here's what's happening with that. So I talk about this quite a bit on this show, is that we are receiving a lot of light codes every single day being poured down from the galactics through meteor showers, through solar flares, solar storms, etc. Like these blasts of plasma, these blasts of light, and it's integrating down into Earth, and Earth is bouncing it back up through us, as well as it's the energy that's coming down from the sky, from the stars, from the cosmos is moving through us as well. And so all of these light codes are activating us. They are bringing dormant parts of us online. They are completely recalibrating our digestive systems, our chakra systems. It's recalibrating our nervous systems. I think scientists say that we only use something like, it's 5 or 7% of our brains. Well, more parts of our brain is now coming online. Like our 12 strands of DNA is activating. And this is how humanity used to be, like, 200,000 years ago or 100,000 years ago, like back in the Atlantis and Lemuria days, right? So that time is kind of resurrecting itself. Our telepathic abilities are coming online. Our spiritual abilities are coming online. Everything's coming online. This is the first time that humanity has actually done this before, because we kind of went into a period of darkness where our consciousness was very, very limited. And now with the increase of frequency from Earth, from all the galactic stuff that's coming down, our consciousness is expanding. Humanity is shifting. Our DNA is activating. We're morphing. And as a result, our nervous system has so much light moving through it that our nervous systems are overstimulated right now. And so that is why we're feeling this anxiety. Because what's happening is with all these light frequencies that are moving through us, it's transmuting the denser, heavier energies, the fear programming, the energetic muck that we're carrying with us, the physical stuff the physical density, that's transmuting, and we're evolving into becoming light bodies. Humanity is evolving. So no wonder why our nervous systems are completely jacked up and overstimulated, right? So it's very, very important right now that we remind our bodies that it is safe to hold more light. I need a drink. Because our bodies have never experienced this before. It has never been done before. So by having conversations with their body and just saying, she is safe. It is safe for you to hold more light. I am here for you. What can I do to support you? It can be very, very supportive to you during this time. Maybe your body is asking you to clean up your diet and start eating more for a light body. Eating nutrient-dense, locally grown foods, cutting out processed foods, cutting out stimulants like caffeine. I started drinking coffee again the last few months, and I've had to completely cut that out now because after coffee I'm just shaking that much more, and I'm so much more anxious. And now it's gotten to the point that I can't have my green tea in the morning either, or even Earl Grey. Anything with caffeine, it makes the anxiety worse. So I just wanted to kind of give you a few points and tips of what I've integrated in my own routine to help support myself during this time that I think will be very helpful for you too, because I know that myself and the community that's in the Sacred She Pack aren't the only ones going through this. I'm sure that pretty much every single one of you listeners are experiencing this anxiety or this like kind of fog to some degree as well. So I have gotten really diligent at being in a proper morning routine. And I'm talking like I go to bed at 9:30 p.m. I don't have any screens on the last hour to 2 hours of my bedtime routine. I journal and I read and I maybe do some yin yoga before I go to bed. And then I'm up at 6:30 every single morning, even if it's on a weekend. I got into this like rhythm. I really nailed it down when we were in Sri Lanka on our honeymoon, because we're up with the sun at 5:30 in the morning and the sun set at 5:30 p.m. there. So we were in bed quite early. So by me being up at a specific time, keeping that routine has made it very easy for me to actually finally commit and stick to my yoga practice. Before, I would kind of like push my yoga towards closer to the end of the day, and then there's a lot of days that I just didn't get to it. So now I wake up, I pour myself hot lemon tea, and I add in turmeric and cinnamon, which is absolutely delicious. And then I put on Gaia, which is a subscription service that is all about expanding consciousness, and they have a lot of yoga stuff on there. I put on Gaia and I choose a Kundalini yoga for me to start my day. And a lot of my Kundalini, I like to, do the ones that have some breath work in it, have the breathing exercises, as well as ones that's going to really open up and activate my Shakti. So following my yoga, I have a really nutritious breakfast, like a green juice, and then I move into my meditation. And when I take my dog out to my garden in the morning, then I'm quite lucky here in Austria. I'm still able to do this at the end of November. I take my socks off and I put my bare feet on the earth, and I put my bare hands on the earth, and I connect with earth. I connect with Mother Amenti. And I crouch down doing this, hands and feet on deck there, and I do this. Shh. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is extremely calming for myself, and I feel like it's calming Mother Earth. Mother Earth needs comfort just like us, right? And when you pour your love into Earth that way, because I imagine myself recycling my energy to her, she gives an influx back to you of her high frequency healing. And I'm also very mindful about screens in the morning. So just like not looking at screens before bed, I also will not look at screens until I have finished my meditation. At that point, I'm ready to start my workday anyways. But it actually, your intuition really gets kind of like blocked when you expose yourself to too much screens. So that's why those lenses, the glasses that are the blue light blocking, are really, really powerful. And they also help because too much screens can disrupt your hormones. So I'm just really, really mindful about screens. And that has been very helpful for me to manage this increased anxiety that I have been experiencing, as well as implementing vibration into my daily morning. So what I mean by that is like doing chants and, the chakra sound seeds where you're, for example, yam is the sound seed to open your heart. So I'll vibrate out yam and I'll do all of my chakras as well as I've started singing. I've really been noticing with this anxiety that I have a lump in my throat, an energetic lump. And this is something that's kind of surfaced on and off for the last 2 or 3 years. And so I know that I haven't been doing much throat work if this lump comes up, and that throat is like your ability to express yourself, right? And the throat and the yoni is actually very, very connected too. So yeah, that's just something to take note of. So, I'll hum, I'll sing, I'll do some chanting and just really opening up my throat and just having those vibrations move through me. I've had to give up caffeine altogether, as well as, I don't drink already. I had made a promise to myself last year at this time because I had a really, really bad hangover my 26th birthday. Me and my fiance at that time had gone a little bit too hard on the wine. It was actually our drink testing and food tasting for our wedding venue. We consumed that on my birthday, and we had sangria, white wine, red wine, and the beer all by 1:00 p.m. And then it just was a slippery slope after that. And so after that really bad hangover, I just made a promise to myself that I would not do that to my body again. And I promised myself that 2019 would be a hangover-free year. And I went on honeymoon, I got married, and I have yet to have a hangover. I'll have a glass of wine, maybe 2, and that's it. And I find now that I've stuck to that promise with myself. When I do have maybe a 3rd glass of wine, the next day I can feel my energetic channel just really like clogged up, and I just don't feel very well energetically. So I just choose not to. But that being said, I have had a relationship with cannabis for the last few years. I am Canadian, and it is very much part of our culture. But this past probably 6 months, I've shifted to using cannabis more as a ceremonial aspect rather than recreational, which was a big shift in my life to release it and get to that point. However, even in ceremony now, cannabis has been overstimulating to me and has created a lot of anxiety and paranoia. So I have now completely released cannabis out of my life. I probably will look into doing, getting like the CBD, as I do like the ceremonial aspect of smoking. But CBD, as you know, does not give you the mental, it doesn't give you the high, right? It gives you the healing benefits of the plant without the high. So I am going to look into maybe incorporating that a little bit into my life, probably in the new year. But that has been a big release that I've done recently as well. And that is in honor of supporting my body and my nervous system during these really intense times. So you may be feeling the call too that, if you have a relationship with alcohol or cannabis, that it just doesn't serve you anymore, and you might be working on cleansing that out of your life as well. And you may also be feeling that call to let go of caffeine and certain things out of your diet. I also recommend with the food that you eat, taking time to bless it before you eat it, just thanking Mother Earth for her bounty. If you eat meat, just blessing and releasing, cleansing and releasing any fear that the meat may be still holding, and thanking the animal for its sacrifice. And just really taking time to bless it with angel love and light. And that's really, really powerful, and it helps you develop a beautiful relationship with your food so that you can be more mindful when you're eating, and not having screens while you eat, just being very present with your food. That's a very powerful mindfulness practice that I have used probably about the last year. Sometimes I'm not as consistent with it as others, but I always just feel so much more grounded when I am consistent with it. So another way for you to be managing this ascension anxiety is cultivating time and space every day for movement of some sort, whether it be yoga, whether it be stretching, dancing, going for a walk in nature, going for a run. You don't need to be going and doing like this crazy cardio workout unless, of course, that's what you actually like to do. But that just really helps support your nervous system during this time, and it helps to move stagnant energy to make space for fresh energy to flood in. As well as meditation. Having a meditation practice every single day is an absolute must. But I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you have already established a practice of some sort. But that has been very, very powerful and supportive to me, that once I've meditated, I do feel much better. And when the anxiety does flare up throughout the day, I just know that it's time to ground myself. I call my energy and my power back to me. I breathe into my spine. I just take a lot of deep breaths. I go outside. I stretch. I let the sun fill every cell of my being. I put my hands and my feet on the earth, or I'm touching trees and connecting with trees. I know back home in Canada, a lot of the places have snow and it's cold, so I don't expect you to be putting your bare feet on the earth. So just even connecting with a tree is a very powerful way to ground yourself. Mother Earth is our medicine right now. Nature is our medicine. So it's just very important to connect with her and be with her every single day. And she's going through these shifts as well, right? So she holds the keys and the codes to help support you through this. And just really, really be gentle with yourself right now, and not making any stories. Not making any stories about, where is this anxiety stemming from and why am I experiencing this anxiety? I have found just knowing that it is because the more clear our channel gets with the work that we're doing, the more sensitive that we become, right? Like a lot of you, including myself, are experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms like plugged ears, popping ears, ringing ears, really sensitive skin, sensitive spines, dizziness, headaches, nausea, etc. And that's just because we are adjusting to these higher frequencies and integrating so much, and we're bound to feel this anxiety here and there, or sometimes daily in different chunks of time, right? And so just be really gentle and don't create any stories. Don't allow yourself to spin out like going into victim mindset around it. Just be very supportive of yourself and just continue to check in and ask yourself what you need. Have a conversation with your partner about it. My husband has been very, very supportive, and sometimes all I need is just one of his great big JP bear hugs, which is so grounding and supportive for me. But just open up to your partner and let him know that you're just feeling a lot of the energies in the world right now, and you really would appreciate his support and his grounding energy right now. Our masculine partner is super grounding for us. The masculine helps the feminine feel safe, right? He is the container to hold us. As well as essential oils. I mean, essential oils, they're not new, right? Herbs are very, very powerful medicine, and I've become more diligent with using oils every single day and having a little bit of a ceremony or practice around them. If you're in Canada, I'm sure you're familiar of the company Sage. I miss Sage. That is like, I'm going to have to get my best friend to send me a care package from Sage soon. But I really have been liking their stress release essential oil blend, and Young Living and doTERRA also have really phenomenal oils. And then, yeah, like I'll have lavender baths, salt baths. That's very, very supportive to me. And, just really upping the self-care right now and just not overwhelming yourself. Don't put too much on your plate. We're coming up to the holidays, and this is the season to be going inwards and cultivating more space for yourself to really honor your energy and be more in the energetic world than the physical world. So this is a call for us to really be on top of our energetic maintenance and really taking care of ourselves the way that we would a child or the way that we would a partner, right? And then my final note is our animals. Our animals are experiencing these shifts as well. They're feeling it as well. And one of the healers that I actually work with, she had mentioned that after she takes her pup to the groomer and has him shaved, he's so high anxiety for about a day, and he's like running around squealing and just really upset. And when she tuned in with the trees and asked grandfather tree what was happening with Bubba, he had said, well, of course you took off his shield. He's feeling everything too much now. And that really, really resonated with me, because how many of our dogs do we shave, right? Because of the type of fur and the type of breed that they are. But our animals, our pets, they need extra love right now, and you also receive that love from them when you do take extra time to give them that love and connect with them deeper and give them a snuggle. And so connecting with our animals is so grounding and calming and heart expanding, as well as just being supportive of them as they're feeling it. I know that my dog Lila, some days she's extra needy. And it's interesting because the days that she's extra needy usually are the days that I'm feeling an ascension symptom of some sort. So yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to jam out about today. It's an important message that needs to come out. So if you have any sisters that have been struggling with some ascension symptoms or anxiety and such, just send this podcast to her. There's a lot of really powerful tools in here that can really be supportive to you during this time, or supportive to her during this time. And I also wanted to let you know that it was last month I was initiated into shamanic journeying, which I've now implemented into my own healing and healing with clients. And now that I've completed my practicum of offering complimentary sessions, I am having a deal, just because I am still in the introductory phase of shamanic journeying, where I'm offering for only 44 euros, which is 50% off what I normally will be charging, off of power animal retrievals as well as blue bowl healing ceremonies. And that's going to be offered until middle of December. So if you're interested in receiving a healing, both are very, very powerful. And I've absolutely loved journeying for people and the different experiences that I have had in the spirit world while I'm journeying for people. And I've had incredible response from everybody that I have given a healing for. If you're interested in receiving a healing, you can find me on Facebook at Mary Wright, WRIGHT. That's my married name. My business page on Facebook is still under Mary Enns, ENNS. You can also email me at coachmaryens@gmail.com. It's pretty easy to find me, but yeah, just reach out. And as well as if you aren't already part of the Sacred She Pack Facebook community, I welcome you with open arms to join us in there. So I'm sending you so much love in this incredibly profound time. And may you have ease, and I hope that everything is going really beautifully for you. We are in such a profound time, and I am so, so excited to see what 2020 has in store for all of us. Much love. We'll chat soon. Bye.